Good evening, folks. I'd like to call the Township of Lopatcong meeting for November 1st, 2023 to order. I would ask that you all bow your heads for a moment of silence. Thank you, and tonight we have a troop of Boy Scouts here to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Gentlemen, whenever you're ready. Well,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
thank you very much. Thank you. Beth, roll call, please.
Councilman Belcaro,
Here.
Councilman McQuaid, Councilman Polito,
Here.
Council President Wright.
Here.
Chairman Gucci.
Here. At this time, we'd like to swear in Police Sergeant Stephen Gabos.
You're going to raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Stephen Gabos,
I, Stephen Gillis,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of police sergeant,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of police sergeant,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations.
Items like this are always fun for the mayor and the council. I said it to nauseam. I believe we have the best police department in Warren County. You guys prove it on a daily basis. And I think you're mayor now for 6 years. And I think that's been my office once or twice. And that's only because I don't know anything about police work. So you guys do a great job. You're out there. The residents are happy that I've talked to. So keep up the good work. Congratulations on your promotion. So thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. Municipal park plans.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Our office.
Hold on one second, Paul. To the Boy Scouts, again, I want to thank you guys. You're more than welcome to stay for the meeting. Most people usually exit, but you're more than welcome to stay. So we do have a presentation on the park tonight, so you may want to stick around for that. So, all right, thank you.
So thank you, Mayor. Good evening. My colleagues, Phil, who's distributing some plans, Dean Nicola, and Derek Jordan, are going to give the council and the public an update on the planning and scope development for the park upgrades of Lopatcong Park. Just for the record, this is the 7th meeting that we're going to be holding tonight to discuss the park scope and planning for the park, including the 3rd one that's taking place at a council meeting. Previously, the council discussed this on May 17th and July 5th of this particular year. So we want to continue that process. It's been a good process. Before I go through some of the history and I turn it over to Derek and Phil to go through some of the technical aspects of the project right now. I just wanted to read something off because I think the people that are in tonight's audience might be different than what they were back on May 17th when we started this particular process. So I just want to remind everybody, the master plan was prepared for the park areas known as Lopatcong Park to evaluate the condition of the township's park assets, determine how best to update the various facilities and infrastructure so it continues to serve as a key destination and gathering point in the township. The study was performed over an approximate 8-month period in 2022 that culminated in the approval and release of a report prepared by Simone Collins in December 2022. There were a considerable number of meetings that were conducted as part of the planning process, including 3 public meetings. Specifically on June 7, 2022, there was 80 attendees at that meeting. September 27, 2022, there were 50 attendees. And then at the September 7, 2022 council meeting to obtain input. In addition, an online public opinion survey was launched in April of 2022, and it remained open for roughly 5 months while this planning process was taking place in 2022. The township ultimately received 737 completed surveys. And again, the culmination of the process was a master plan, a vision for the updates to Lopatcong Park that was approved by the council last December. This particular master plan envisioned connectivity and thoroughfares throughout the park, upgrades to utilities, new and improved structures, new and improved recreation facilities and amenities, environmental enhancements, and also consider future maintenance and programming at the park. So just to give everybody a sense of where we came from and why we're here tonight, again, this is the 7th meeting that's taken place where we're discussing planning for the park and programming. I think a lot has taken place since we started this effort back in April. Just to review these meetings, back on April 21st, this was an initial fact-finding session where our office was trying to obtain input on what was expected in various buildings. There are a number of buildings that are envisioned in this particular improved park. And just to let the public know, we have a bathhouse structure affiliated with the pool, a pavilion with kitchens and restrooms, a field house, an open-air pavilion, and a concession stand. So we got some input. On May 17th, we presented some schematics for the various buildings that were proposed as part of the park improvement process. We had floor plans and schematic elevations. The council gave input. We also heard from the public on May 17th as well. On June 28th, we actually had a conference call with Dennis Drake, who has a lot of knowledge on swim facilities and swim programs. And before we appeared before council in July, we wanted to get his input, and he provided a lot of valuable input on the programming we were doing at the time on the pool complex. July 5th, we appeared before the council, and we showed some updated elevations and schematics for the buildings. We also revealed the layout and arrangement of all the improvements and discussed how they would relate to one another and some of the other improvements that will be installed in the way of stormwater and utilities as part of that. Now, after the July 5th meeting, I think the council was on board with where we were going. A decision was made to not proceed into design yet, but to look at the cost of what was being envisioned here, so that we didn't get too far ahead of the game, and we knew we were in line with some of the costs that for this project, because the town had put out a vision as to what they could afford in the way of improvements on this particular site. So on July 25th, there was a committee meeting where some of the costs were looked at for the program that had been developed in April, May, June, and early July. And those costs were over what the municipality was initially looking at as far as spending for this particular project. So there were recommendations that were provided by the committee members at that meeting to try to rein in some of the costs and provide some value engineering. Back on on October 3rd, there was another committee meeting where we looked at updates to the various documents for the project. And we presented some updates to the plans and trying to reduce costs. In fact, when we met with the committee that day, we reduced over $3 million of costs. And there was further dialogue between our office and the committee members on try to do some further streamlining of the plans and to reduce costs and provide better efficiencies as a result of that meeting. And tonight we're going to present some further updates and some further refinements to the cost estimates for the project to bring everybody up to speed at this point. So Phil and Derek are going to do that. Just to maybe go back to our August 25th meeting, and Phil outlined this very, very clearly. Some of the goals of this program were to provide good materials in all these buildings so that there was more durability and long-lasting effort there with these particular buildings and provide for better maintenance. And then obviously we're looking to make these materials in these buildings sustainable so that they are highly efficient in the way of building materials to reduce energy costs moving forward, which I think is a theme here in the state and all over the country. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Phil and Derek, and they're going to let you and the public know where we're at with this project and what kind of costs we're looking at today to build some of the improvements that are part of the park master plan. Go ahead, gentlemen.
Derek Jordan with College Engineering. I'm going to start on the site stuff, and then I'll turn it over to Phil to talk about the building changes that were made. The last time we were here presented, it was at the July 5th meeting for the site layout. We made a few changes to the site to get those costs down. The biggest changes were there was originally shown a playground sort of in the area of the open air pavilion and the Four Seasons pavilion. We've eliminated that from this plan at this time. And we were also showing a significant amount of landscaping and new trees throughout the park, which we've taken off at this time for this initial phase. Again, to help bring down the site costs. Pretty much most of everything else from the site has stayed the same. The utility build out will be the same. The parking lot improvements will be the same. We know in the initial meetings we're here, we heard a lot of comments about the need for more parking. So we didn't want to compromise that on this. So from the site standpoint, the pickleball court stayed, the parking lot improvements stayed, the walking paths around the site to connect all the buildings, the new bathhouse, the field house, the Four Seasons pavilion, that all remains really. The two main items, like I said, eliminated were the playground and the additional landscaping that we're adding throughout the park. From that, I'll turn it over to Phil to talk more on the specifics of the buildings.
First image here is the bathhouse. In the bathhouse, when we were going through the value engineer process, part of the goal was how do you cut costs on a project that's about 7,000 square foot? And one of the things you start to do is you streamline and try to get rid of waste that you currently had. Some of the spaces were not vetted well enough. So out of the 7,000 square foot, we reduced it by about 1,800 square feet. So we were able to cut almost 2,000 square foot off the floor plan. We still kept the same aesthetic. Like Paul had mentioned, the materials on the outside, they all have a consistent vernacular that's refreshing to the park itself. So when all these buildings get built in the various locations, they'll have a theme of the materials. They'll all be the same materials, same sort of durability, sustainability, focus on energy efficiency and sustainability. The building here that you see, this was modified slightly. We pushed back the meeting room that's over here. There was a focus to reduce the amount of, at one time we had a right angled covered porch area, reduce some of the covered porch area. Where the pool is, the covered porch up, it's in front of the pool, so that becomes almost like the backdrop to the pool, if you would, where people can come in and out of the bathhouse. The first aid, the lifeguard office, and the gatehouse are all front and center, full supervision of the pool in this area. Off to the side, there's double access into the building, into the main locker rooms, the men's and women's locker rooms, or boys and girls locker rooms. And on the back side, the same way, if you're coming in from the pool, the process, you got four showers in each area, locker rooms, and the toilets and benches and lavatories are there too. The overall space itself, when you walk into, one of the critiques of the locker rooms was that we had too many compartments within the locker room and was wanted to be more open. So we basically opened up the entire space and had the general space be the lockers house it. The lockers basically block some of the views to the bathrooms or to the lavatories, but the whole space is open. Ceilings will come through, and could actually be cathedrals at that point if you wanted to because of the shape of the roof. On this side of the area, the party room is linked directly to the kitchen. We pushed it up closer to the pool so it could see sight lines into the pool area. It becomes a part of the space, outdoor space as well. And that this whole area here would start to activate that edge against the pool area. The second area that we updated is the Four Seasons Pavilion, which is the floor plan, and this is again, it's the exterior elevation. The exterior elevation was barely modified to the degree. We basically reduced the size of it by pulling it this way, pulling it in slightly. But we're able to get about 164 people from an occupant load inside the central space. So for parties and events, it's going to become a nice amenity to the township. Off of that, there's a kitchen direct. The kitchen can act as a twofold. It can serve food directly from the kitchen out, so it'll have a rolling counter outboard, and also can serve it within, where you can close this off and bring the food in. The bathrooms here are situated so people from the outside can use the bathrooms without going into the building. So they would come in and then into the bathroom, and this whole area can be locked down. Or if there's an event here, these doors would open up, and these doors could be locked and these could be used. So there's an opportunity for flexibility, and part of what we were trying to do to reduce costs is promote the flexibility. So if some or all of the buildings can be built at the same time or can't be built at the same time, you have the opportunity to provide the amenities in the park. This one here. This building here. Again, the same concept with this building. We had the bathrooms.
This, for the record, this is the field house.
Field house, I'm sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
so the field house, it was revised also. We reduced the amount of ports that kind of like wrapped around the building and kept it front and center and focused on a central spine, front and back of the building, and then also through the middle of the building, where you have a meeting room and a weight room or recreation room side by side. In this area too, the bathrooms are accessible from the outside, or the public from the outside can use the bathrooms in, or if you're inside the building, you can use them out this way too. So bathrooms, again, are being used as a double use function for during off hours or during, if the building's being utilized, it can be closed off or opened up during different time frames. The kitchen, we placed the kitchen, which was once over here to open up to the meeting room. So again, it could be used as amenity, and this meeting room is 678 square foot, so it's about almost 46 people you can fit in the space if you use it for a simple meeting room for assembly. The kitchens themselves are, your typical commercial kitchens, reaching for freezer, coolers, 6-burner stove, a 3-bay sink, that sort of stuff. So stainless steel appliances with an over-counter serving area for people to use and serve the meeting room if you want to use that as that function, which provides additional flexibility. Here's some images of the concession stand. This one remained almost untouched. We just updated this. We didn't reduce the square footage of this because there's not much you can reduce. It's a simple bathroom and a simple concession area. The concessions would stay the same size, and then you have an outdoor picnic area. So all this area here remained the same, And it's trying to generate a small little gathering space outside. They have some picnic tables for people to sit down and eat. And then last but not least is the outdoor pavilion, which is here. And this outdoor pavilion can fit up, I think, up to 20 tables underneath, is what was being suggested. So that's where we're at right now. We did go through a series of refinements, if you would. And I think right now we're meeting the space requirements that was asked for during our last committee member meeting. And I think we are now trying to back into the right answer in terms of cost to phasing to what's prioritized, which building goes first, type of thing. So that's where we're at in the process.
Did the mayor have a question?
I've got a couple.
Okay.
Yeah, I must have the look on my face, but, the pavilion, you said 20 tables?
I think we had 20 tables listed.
And how many at a table?
The picnic table is probably 3 apiece, so 6.
6 at a table, okay. Also, the field house, the weight room,
Yes.
are we intending to have that open to the public?
It can be, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because if we're not, obviously, was there any exit from the weight room to the outside? From the rest of the building?
We have one access door on the top of the part over here.
Okay,
So if they want to close this off and open this up to the public, they certainly could do that.
okay.
We wanted to put at least one door in that space for emergency egress out.
Yep.
But it can be activated with access.
I was just anticipating if we're gonna open it up to the public, that we close off everything else,
Right.
and just have that. So, okay. We have a couple questions that I had at the moment. Gentlemen, anybody else? Good.
I do.
Yes.
On the pool building, I don't see the manager's office. I see the lifeguard, the gate office, and the first aid, but I don't, was it on your original plan?
We kept the same offices that were on the original plan, which was the lifeguard office, the gate office, and the first aid. Those three were like the prime, call it offices area where people would be.
To the right of the pink and the green, what was that office? So you're going down the hall there.
So to the first one is the
Move your
lifeguard.
hand to the right, that big one, what's that?
That's the kitchen.
That's the kitchen.
Yep.
All right, so we are missing a manager's office.
Okay.
I don't know if it was on the original plan or what, but, so, I do see a couple issues, and maybe we can have a meeting
Sure.
here, and we can talk about it.
Here's the original.
Yeah, did it have anything? with regards to the manager's
I don't think
office?
there was anything.
Okay. That would be the gate,
Well, what's next to the gate, the pink building, or pink office?
the lifeguard was.
I guess I didn't see, I would've thought you could probably use that for a field room.
Lifeguard office.
We're missing that, so we're gonna have to build that in. I don't know about the, in the lifeguard office, generally, we have about 5 lifeguards, circulating, so I'd have to have enough room for,
You need 5 seats, or do you need, is
5
it usually
seats.
just one person there and the rest are out at the pool?
it depends. It depends on how many are on and, how they're circulating, so,
Okay.
yeah, so
If you need that,
if we
like,
could just have
yeah.
another meeting here in the office
Sure.
and go over all these
Yeah, that's
things
perfect.
that.
Yeah, we do have some space that we can grab, certainly. The full filtration room and the mechanical room have not been vetted into what types of equipment, so we,
Well, even the bathrooms, maybe they can be
Here.
condensed a little bit.
you can go down to one and
On
do
the
a
other
unis,
side.
yeah, you can do one single bathroom and have it be a unisex bathroom.
Yeah,
Turn that into an office too.
yeah, okay.
All right, gentlemen?
I have a question regarding the field house.
Yes.
Equipment storage,
For the field house, we,
Originally, there was gonna be a mezzanine,
Yes.
and I think we took that out.
Yeah, the mezzanine came
Cost
out
revision.
as part of the value of engineering part. Yeah, we had a mezzanine with a lift.
With a
Right,
lift,
with a
yeah.
lift, and it was very expensive.
Yeah, and then we took that out, and,
So I'm sorry, your question again?
Where the storage is made.
Where's all the equipment gonna be stored?
The equipment gonna be stored?
Yeah.
Equipment for
For the teams?
For the teams? We're not showing any equipment storage in this scheme.
Okay.
So
Well,
we're,
so, again, we have to.
right.
Yeah, I agree.
The type of equipment, I guess we would have to discuss, because carrying it upstairs might not be the best idea.
Well, we had a lift, so.
Yeah.
originally.
But
Not a good
even with the
idea
lift, it's probably not the greatest way to store stuff. So we'll have to look.
That's a big issue with the current field house, is storage of equipment.
We could put a mezzanine in, if that makes sense.
Well, that's what we originally.
And do something over the top here. Before, we were going from front to back, all the way down the middle of the trusses. But we'll have to put something up there.
Jim, are you worried about storage of equipment season to season or,
Just in general.
okay,
I mean, every team should have, every sport, I mean, should have enough space for storage.
okay, well, in light of the other, squad, there may be plenty there for that, so. But, I mean, obviously, it's a good point that there's no storage in there, but,
When I was soccer director, equipment was
Yeah.
stored in my family.
yeah,
Do we have a program inventory of what you're talking about in terms of storage, what needs to be stored?
We'll get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if it's football versus baseball versus soccer.
So it's football, baseball, softball, soccer, even basketball.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. We'll have to interrogate that, explain a little bit better. Thank you.
all right, anybody else, questions?
No, it looks great so far. You
Gentlemen?
know, just, we're moving along the process very well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, please.
All right, can I have a public comment on agenda items only? Agenda items only. No. Hearing and seeing none, I'll move into old business. Approve the minutes of the executive and regular session minutes for October 4th and October 16th, 2023. If you've all had the opportunity to read them, any additions, deletions, corrections? Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second,
Councilman Belcarro,
Yes.
Councilman Polito,
yes.
Council President Wright,
Abstain from the 4th and yes for the 16th.
Mayor Mingus.
Yes. Item number 2 under old business is ordinance number 23-21, second reading and public hearing to amend supplement chapter 86 entitled Business Registry to incorporate a penalty schedule therein. Beth, you want to kind of just explain that again? We now have a registry for all of our businesses.
Yes, we do, and we just didn't have a penalty schedule, as far as dollars, you know.
If they don't register.
Take them to court, so we had to add that.
All right. I need a motion to open up to the public.
Motion.
I'll second it. Folks, questions, comments? Yes, sir.
Robert Bruce, 11 Harwich Road. Thank you. Good evening, Councilman and Mr. Mayor Mangucci. Mr. Mayor, how'd you like that last check game, huh? Wasn't it one of the greatest games you've ever seen? And don't answer that.
It was another game.
To begin with, I just wanted to dispel any concerns about my questions last month about the roughly $400,000 earmarked for the Department of Public Works. Everyone recognizes they do a fantastic job serving the residents of Lopatcong under often the most difficult of circumstances. My only concern in rising to speak on the expenditures then was financial, specifically whether they were foreseen and planned for rather than unforeseen and unplanned for.
Robert, let me stop you there. This is on item 2.
I'm
Really
sorry,
is-
sir.
Really isn't public comment on anything else.
Thank you, sir.
So-
I won't repeat my joke when it's my turn.
All right, no problem. Anybody else with it? John?
Mayor, John Betts, Brakely Gardens, Red School Lane.
Is landlord included as a business? Yes,
Break the garden?
I would think so, sure.
Okay.
Yes, okay, thank you. All right, anyone else? Questions, comments? Motion to close the public session?
Motion.
Second.
No roll call on it?
Motion to add.
Motion to act on number 2?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Valcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Mangum?
Yes, under new business, number 1 is best practices. Need a public discussion on that. You
We
want,
have those here to
so,
explain that.
That's what I'm here for.
okay,
Yeah, I'm here to discuss the best practice inventory. This is annual, online tool. The division puts this out every year. It's a survey. Depending on what you score, it could affect your December state aid payment. We've never been in that situation before. This year was 67 questions. Some of those are unscored. A possible score, if you got all yeses, were 42 points. We scored 36.5. This year, they emphasized residential garbage pickup, even though we don't pay for the residents.
right.
But apparently, they've been seeing a lot of high bids. And so it's really, really high bids. So I think that's why they emphasized that this year. There was questions on cybersecurity, which is a big issue now. Also, the new lead paint requirements that came down last year, had some questions on that. But all in all, quite a few of them are repeats. So we're fine. Last year, we, out of a possible 36.5, we scored 32.
So we're basically in the same range we were last year, pretty much.
Pretty much, yes,
Okay.
yes. So,
All right, so no penalties coming our way?
no
We'll get
penalties,
ours.
no penalties at all.
All right,
We just have to put it on record that we discussed it at a public meeting.
okay. All right, very good. Kim, thank you.
Mhm.
Do we need to pass a motion on that at all, Beth?
No.
All right, number 2 is ordinance number 23-22, first reading to amend and supplement chapter 163 entitled privately owned salt storage is created. I have no idea what that is, to be quite honest with you.
This is an ordinance that's required as a result of the updated stormwater permit we have from the state of New Jersey that went into effect on January 1st of this year. So this is a mandated ordinance. The ordinance was based on a model ordinance that the state provided, and we created it and figured out where it needed to be fit into the ordinance. And it's going to be a chapter 163, which is a new section of the ordinance. But this is something you need to adopt.
All right,
And what is involved here is that the state is now mandating municipalities to regulate private property owners, business owners that store salt on their property, and they have to do it in a certain manner.
okay. Do we have anybody doing that, Brian, to your knowledge? Anybody? We're talking bulk storage, correct?
Excuse me?
We're talking bulk.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I've never seen anything either. All right. Got a motion on number 2?
Make the motion.
I'll second it.
Councilman Valcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Mangum?
Yes, number 3 is ordinance number 22-23, first reading to amend and supplement chapter 115 entitled fees to add a new section titled tax sale fees.
Just as it reads, there's certain fees that go along with notification of people in a tax sale, and we have the ability to charge that.
So we already have that?
Pardon?
It's already there?
Yeah, but we have to have it covered in our ordinance.
All right, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Councilman Valcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Mangum?
Yes, number 4 is resolution to allow Mayor Minucci to execute a shared municipal court agreement with Lopatcong. we have joined forces with POHAT for. So we'll be getting rid of our court and we'll be going down there. It should save us quite a bit of money, actually. So, all right. Do we need a motion on that?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Menounos?
Yes, consent agenda items 1 through 6. Gentlemen, anything you want pulled out? Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Menounos?
Yes. Council reports, Mr. Vocaro,
No reports.
Mr. Polito,
No report tonight, thank you.
Mr. Wright.
The only thing I have, it looks like we're doing pretty good with the truck parking over there at the old Bell and Howell and Cooper's. Our zoning guy's been running down, he issued more tickets, and I guess they went to court last week, is that right, Beth?
They got
17th.
the floor on the 17th.
17th, and they were fined again for last couple months that they did have trucks parked. I don't know if the police chief will have a little talk about some stuff we're doing, a little extra, but we're doing pretty good, I think. And I did see the chief out there with his guys, and they've been stopping trucks on Belvedere Road and Red School Lane like crazy, so, thank you. So,
All right, thanks. One question I did have, Paul, the signs for Belvedere Road. Are we now allowed to purchase them, put them up? What's the next step? The
believe
county's
so.
approved
I think-
everything?
I think the county's approved everything.
Is that
Yes.
something you need to get involved with engineering wise, as far as where they, replacement of signs?
If I may.
Go ahead.
The signs have been ordered.
Okay.
The order coming in tomorrow. They're either for Fox Farm or for that whole project.
Okay,
All right, so both of them ordered within the same week. All
you're
right?
just not sure what's coming in tomorrow.
I don't know what's coming in, but they
Okay.
are both coming in and we'll give them both up.
Here we go.
Both up.
Maybe we can make some money. All right, I would just like to thank the cops and everybody else who was out last night. The fire companies were out. To my knowledge, we had no incidents with trick or treat, so, Chief, any incidents that you were reported?
Some couple incidents that we took care of.
Okay.
Yeah, everything was pretty quiet for the most part, though. It's a successful night.
Okay. All right, very good. I won't tell you who to vote for or what to do, but get out and vote next Tuesday. It's your only chance to make a difference, so, I know I don't need to tell you that, but I feel like I do. That's it for me. Paul?
Two things, Mayor. I just wanted to advise the council and the public that we did receive another grant from the Department of Transportation. This grant is to improve Stonehenge Drive between Bunker Hill Road and Red School Lane. It's in the amount of $137,000, so that will help us improve that stretch of road. We've improved about 3,000 feet of that roadway over the last 2 years, and this will allow us to continue those improvements westward to Red School Lane. Second thing is to address an issue that resident Bruce, who's in the audience tonight, raised at the last meeting, had to do with K&S Enterprises, which is a site that has truck parking and various buildings, that are part of that truck parking on Strikers Road, south of the railroad tracks. And he was questioning, whether the property owner was allowed to have truck parking there, and the answer is yes, they have approval. Is documented in a resolution that was adopted in 2018. We did look at the property, and there's some things from that 2018 approval that were not built by the property owner. So we'll be following up with the property owner on that, and there's been some creep of the parking areas by the property owner into buffer areas, probably in an effort to provide more storage or increased vehicle parking, and that definitely needs to be reined in, and the property owner will be contacted on that. But as far as, I think the chief question was, do they have a right to park trucks there and operate a truck facility? And the answer is yes. It goes back to the 2018 approval. So I don't know if Mr. Bruce has any questions on that, but we are going to contact the property owner about the issues that I just mentioned.
Okay. All right, anything else, Paul?
No, thank
That's
you.
it? All right, thank you. Chief, anything other than your report?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Yeah, from the OEM office, I just have a quick update on some of the projects that are outstanding with Fox Farm Road and Lowe's Hollow Road. I've been working with our township engineer, Paul Servants, and his team, as well as the DPW superintendent to get this project together. And so we have a site inspection scheduled for next week, late next week, to kind of button up some more details and keep this project rolling. So I should have more information for you by next month as far as that goes. The police department is happy to report a safe and healthy Halloween yesterday, and we like to thank the fire department for being out there as well. Everybody came together. It was a good night overall. And then just want to mention that the police department, as well as Phillipsburg, Greenwich, and Hohokong police departments, are going to be involved with what is commonly known as No Shave November this month. It's for a great cause. We're going to be supporting a local family whose child has leukemia, and we're going to fight that battle with that family. So we might be a little scruffy for next month or so, but we'll get through it. As far as the traffic goes, yeah, Brian told me that the signs are on water. As soon as those signs get erected, we're going to start enforcing the traffic laws out there, especially with our tractor trailers and overweight tractor trailers that are coming through. They're causing much headache and disturbance in the neighborhood. And then lastly, for the traffic report, so we had a total of 132 stops this past month. 28% of those people that were stopped were issued summonses, and 19% of those were truck drivers, tractor trailer drivers. So,
I got a picture of one.
And I was reminded with a picture. Yeah, we had an officer out there. We had a front row seat for that one again. So they're out there. We're doing what we can, but there's other issues as well going on in the township. We're certainly doing the best that we can.
Once those signs go up, then it's open season.
Then we can enforce them fully. So.
Yep. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Mayor.
Chief, thank you as always.
Before we move on, can I just ask Paul something? I'm good with you, Chief. About K&S. You said they were able to park trucks out there towards 2018, but that means their trucks, right? They can't like hire or sell out.
They can't
spots, lease out to all these other truckers. Correct. All right, that's
Cool.
okay. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Need a motion to approve department reports?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion to pay bills?
Pay 'em.
I'll make that motion.
I got a motion.
You got a motion?
Second.
All right.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Toledo?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Menducci?
Yes. Folks?
Bob Bruce, picking up where I left off. Again, thank you for knowing that the Department of Public Works is doing a great job. I was just questioning the amount of money. We were at $15 million for the pool. Did anything happen tonight? Take that number down?
We don't have the numbers since
We don't know,
we've
but
adjusted. Yeah.
supposedly with a 30+% reduction, that's going to help, right?
I would certainly hope so.
Certainly hope so, okay, because we were told, I believe we were told that we can do all of that without raising taxes, and we certainly hope that that's right. This is the fourth month since I provided the council with evidence of the businesses, thank you, Paul, allowing routine and repeat violations of our traffic laws. I asked then and I ask again tonight, can we have our township attorney draft a letter to those businesses politely noting that we have noticed this is happening and politely requesting that they take some action so that these violations don't continue? Mr. Mayor, last month you effectively stated you would not. So tonight I ask you to explain to us why. What is wrong with politely notifying these businesses officially? Can you explain?
So it's, like you heard, Paul's gonna reach out to that one business regarding their site plan approvals, but we'd have to make sure that each one of these businesses go through all their prior resolutions, that they're not permitted to do with what they're doing.
Okay, but if I can interrupt, sir, I was referring to illegal lefts. I got those pictures. We talked about K&S, because of me following up, and I'm getting pictures of them back there. And that was because I witnessed an illegal left being made out of the warehouse, which is a violation. And I identified who the business was, and when I went on the K&S site and took photos, I saw half a dozen of them. So basically, my request about notifying these businesses is that's a firm that is apparently operating at the United States Postal Warehouse, and they are making illegal lefts at going down to the corner and parking at K&S. Whether or not they're legal, Mr. Wright, as you had said, is it only for them, or are they allowed to lease out? I don't know. But that was one, B&B making illegal lefts. I identified another one that had basically pulled out, and that's another tractor trailer firm. And then as far as K&S was concerned, yeah, I guess we'll resolve as far as that. So again, that's what I was referring to. We're seeing repeat violations, and I just want to know why we can't be very polite on our official letterhead and say, hey, we've noticed this stuff, and maybe you should talk to your people. That's how I handle it when I work people, would be give them a chance to clean it up.
Yeah, so if that's what the council wants me to do, I'll confirm that it is illegal, and also in a letter that they have to comply by all traffic laws, including illegal lefts, whether, but that's something that.
Okay, and you have access, I had given Beth printouts of what I had found, 7-page printouts identifying who is, so you have access to that in order to follow. Thank you, sir. My final question concerns the police enforcement. Again, I thank Chief Garcia for continuing to inform our residents of the traffic violations each month. I'd like to revisit something he clarified last month for me, namely that the violation numbers that are being reported for moving violations only. I would like to know if we are ticketing trucks for parking violations. Myself and other attendants tonight have repeatedly witnessed trucks parking in the shoulders of westbound 22, presumably so that it could obtain fast food at either McDonald's or one of the fast food restaurants still in operation at the mall property. I personally witnessed a guy go way across both east and westbound 22 to go get some fast food after he parks illegally in the shoulder. I presume that's an illegal parking violation. I'm not a cop. And lastly, I just want to defer here to Paul, Mr. Sturvens, for the precise wording. I might be wrong, but there have been a reference to some sort of a code 439 allowance that a business can agree to so that our police can enter the property and ticket parking violations on private commercial property. With the Wawa property expected to be developed on the Twilight Gym site, I'm asking whether this council has any plans to request such a 439 or whatever it is called agreement from the future Wawa or any other existing businesses that like to not have trucks there and would like their trucks ticketed for parking on their property. So that's a question to the council. Do we have any plans to do that for the Wawa, and how to me and others and make this 439 if that's right? How do we make that happen?
Chief.
I think most of the questions that you're asking now, I think the police department probably can address and handle, such as the violations that you're talking about, making left-hand turns. I have direct contact with the property owner, so I get, and I'm sure he would be compliant in making sure that the signage is visible. Maybe posting extra signage if needed, but he'll be put on notice as far as the traffic concerns that we have in the township and them pulling out and making left-hand turns.
Okay, just to add, when I had that incident and I documented it and I dealt with Sergeant DiStefano, I believe it was. Yeah, and he had indicated to me that he had been in contact with that warehouse, and he had said that, well, we don't know who's doing what.
I don't know who, the contacts aren't there on site. they're off-site, and I'll make sure that we reach out to them and see what can be done as far as more signage and to, alleviate these.
Yeah, I think the signage is clear enough. Right next to the sign that says 78 this way, it says no left turns allowed. And that's why I'm asking the council to basically maybe politely let these people know, hey, we're seeing you guys doing this. And it's on the onus of the people that are leasing it
Right.
to inform the drivers.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then, the property out on 22 that you're referring to with parking issues there, we've been in contact with the property owner as well, and they're supposed to be, we're looking to put up no trespassing signs, which would give our police department the enforcement right to go onto the property and trespassing.
So no trespassing in 439,
Yeah, just to address your question, it's Title 39. There's a provision where private property owners can consent to the police department coming onto the property to enforce traffic laws.
So no
that's some-
trespassing is
yeah,
not
if I-
enough, but.
Yeah, let me just finish. So I've seen as part of planning board proceedings where the planning board has made that a condition of approval, but typically it's agreed to by the applicant, and typically the police chief is consulted in advance of putting that type of condition in the approval, because if the police department's not in agreement with it, then, nothing will happen later on after the planning board proceedings are done. So, but to answer your question, it is something I've seen before.
Yes.
So we'll have to cross that bridge when there's an application for that site in the future.
Okay. All right. Well, I plan on going as you correctly pointed out. The library is not us, it's Greenwich, and I'm going to go to Greenwich, and I'm going to ask them the same question.
Mr. Bruce,
Yes, sir.
you've had your 5 minutes. Thank you.
Just to finish up, because they are not just parking in front of the library, they're actually parking in the library and parking lot. So I'll deal with Greenwich on that.
Anyone else? Questions, comments? Robin? I'm sorry, John. Behind you. Go ahead, Robin.
George, 34 Lily Court. Just a few questions about the park plan changes. And no, I'm not going to complain about the trees, I promise. What I am going to ask though is we spent money and effort and time doing that tree plan. And, Bill, we've talked about, future opportunities for grants. So let's not lose those plans so that we can use those already designed plans to get funding from the state in the next round of grants for next year. So, Paul, maybe we can have your help on that. With regard to the playground, are you suggesting that we're eliminating the playground?
We're looking at phase one.
Mm-hmm.
To do certain improvements under phase one that would fit under the budget ceiling that the township CFO and the auditor have created, I guess, for this project. Doesn't mean.
Mr. Sargent?
Okay. I apologize. So we've created a scenario to build a project within the, the ceilings that were envisioned by the auditor and the CFO. Doesn't mean that the plantings or the playground would not be built, but it would not be part of the initial construction.
So the playground
Of the
would
park.
remain the way it is right now? It wouldn't be taken down or anything like that?
No, we would keep it in service.
Okay.
We would have to work around it and
That-
come
that-
over with a plan to keep it in place.
Everything happens in its due
Yes.
time. That's great, thank you. And then the last question was about the weight room. So you actually asked an interesting question, Mr. Mayor, about opening it up to the public. Have we looked at the liability concerns of having a weight room open to the public?
Well, first and foremost, back to your other question. If we're going to eliminate anything, again, I can't speak for the other four guys, the weight room would be the first thing to go. The weight room is something I think that if we're doing it just for the kids, that's something you do when you get to high school, as far as I'm concerned. So
Well, that was
I would
gonna be
rather.
the second half of my comment was, there's about, a couple hundred, maybe 100 kids maybe that participate in athletics, and they're also too young to be lifting weights because they're going up to 8th grade. So really, the weight room, make that the park manager's facility.
Well, if we're going to take money out, of there, I would rather put that in the playground equipment. And again, that's just my opinion.
That was
And one of the
where
other
I was
things,
going.
just so it's very clear to the public, We can build this park with no tax increase. Running it's another thing. So obviously, if you're gonna have a weight room and whatnot, you're gonna need personnel. And just so everybody's
Insurance.
just so everybody's very clear on that, so.
Thank you.
Yep. I'll take John Ketcherson first because he had his hand up, John, so.
John Ketcherson, 38 Jade Lane. Bill, thank you for asking about the trucks, being associated with K&S versus being associated with somebody else, because that was really Bob's initial concern, is that the mail trucks are going back there. It's not just K&S though. I know, I've seen an awful lot of the mail trucks coming in and out of the asphalt plant, so it's, we need to look at all of these areas. The Twilight and the Bell and Howell, we said they went to court. How much were they fined? Do we know?
Not enough.
Only $250?
Yes.
That's, it's not even a slap on the wrist. The truck parking has diminished quite a bit on those lots. But early in the morning, late at night, times when Andrew is not on duty is when these trucks are parking there.
7:15 this morning, there were two.
There you
Twilight,
go.
so.
And he probably starts around 8 or 9, right? So 1 day a week. So we need some kind of way to actually enforce this. I heard the word budget ceiling associated with the park. What is the budget ceiling for the park? Just
15 minutes.
15 million?
Yep.
So when we talked about the reductions today, that was the reduction off of that $15 million?
No, there was a reduction off the fact that it came in at around 18 million.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Am I correct on that, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right now, the design's about 17 million right now, construction. So we have some more work to do, and I think everybody's working together to try to find the best way.
Okay. Well, we're gonna try to keep it at that 15 million.
Right.
We have to, otherwise there's gonna be a tax increase.
Yeah, and we don't want a tax increase. We talked about Bell and Howell, we talked about the K&S and the asphalt plant and stuff like that. Is there any updates on that property on Bellevue that had a bunch of trucks parked there?
I don't have any. I know I've seen some construction out there. I went by there the other day, there's some drainage with some riprap in it. That's something.
Not that one, I'm
That's
sorry.
something new.
The one
Oh,
next
the
to
other
that?
one?
Yeah.
That I don't have an answer for you.
Did they go to court? I know that.
Yes, they've been in court.
Yeah.
Were they fined? What was the?
I can't tell you the details, I don't know, but I do know that they've been in court and they've had attorneys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask next month and get that information?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Doesn't mean we'll have it, but you can ask.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else, questions, comments? Donna? John? The other John.
Same old thing. With Brakely Gardens and other apartments under the rent control ordinance, Brakely Gardens especially, the lease contains many things in it. Some people are getting charged water and sewage fees in their lease signage. One person I know told me that they're getting charged $50 to $60 a month for it. And I don't know whether there are any violations which are being brought to the appearance to the rent levying board, or.
I did receive correspondence from someone last week. It's been forwarded to our attorney. If somebody, like I said before, if anybody's got a problem, they have a complaint, they have to send it, they have to bring it to the municipal building.
I keep telling them, Jim, I really do, and there's more than a few. I hear it from more than a few, and I will talk to Kayla, see if she has any. I can talk to her a lot. Has any more ideas how I can get the people in the complex to write out the complaints and actually to bring them forth over here to the municipal building, because there are more than a few people that are dealing with the same situation, and also problems with lease signage and all sorts of things like that. All right, okay, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Council.
Don?
Donna Schneider, 26 Meadowview. I'm questioning the field behind my house because I haven't asked in a while. Any applications, anything come through, anything in the wind whispering anywhere?
Nobody's come before us for any reason. As I think I told you in the beginning, I found out that Phillipsburg was going to benefit from the solar in there, and that was the last I heard of it. We've heard nothing
Okay.
at this
I
point.
don't know if
So,
any new applications were coming through, not solar or solar.
yeah,
Okay.
there's been nothing come before a planning board, as is evidenced by the fact we didn't have a planning board meeting this month.
Okay.
Because there's no new business, so.
Okay. And with the fines, I just have to ask the question of when does it get escalated other than going to court, waiting 3 months, get a court date, give a $250 fine? This can just keep going on forever?
Yeah, that's it. Whatever the ordinance provides for, but I think it's a $250 fine each time. Each violation is a new violation, but yeah.
So you can't change the ordinance to increase the fines, to do something to stop this, because they're not going to stop with $250.